Hello, Karen here, Merging Soul Tarot with your daily read. So we got the Sacred Rebel Oracle, and I'll pull some Starman Tarot afterwards. Pandora's gift we've got. Good one for the run up to the eclipse. So it's number 45. I guess a lot of you know the mythology of Pandora. She's much maligned woman, as many of the mythical women are maligned. But yeah, it's that Pandora's box, you know. So, but her actual name means all gifted, and there's a sense that this archetype of Pandora lives within us all, male, female. Our curious nature, you know, and that yearning to conquer chaos, evil, darkness with the light and knowledge, okay. So in that sense, she's the hopeful voice of our, you know, of our soul, the one that asks questions and triggers processes that bring answers. Yeah, so in our treasure, I'm always talking about the treasures in the darkness, yeah. We can find uncomfortable learnings, yeah, about ourselves, about others, about situations, okay. But yeah, the learning can take us to places that seem like the end of the world for us sometimes, but there's a knowing, you know, when she opened her box, there was all this chaos and destruction that came out of it, okay. I think we can all identify with that in some way, but it's a message that all is not lost, you know. It's kind of a stirring for new revelation and life and adventure, really. So in that respect, you can see her as all gifted and all giving, or that part of our soul that is all gifted and all giving. It's a case of being able to recognise it, because sometimes our soul journey takes us into, you know, really chaotic and destructive places. But you know, when this card comes out, this particular oracle, it's surrender any misplaced guilt that you've brought kind of on yourself or on someone else. So yeah, it's that letting go of shame-based belief in that blooming punishment, you know. You know, you sin, you get hell, that kind of ideology, because it's time to let that go. We're moving to a time where we need to let that go. So that's that belief that you know, you deserve to be brought to task over anything that's imperfect in you or your natural human journey. You know, that kind of belief that you're somehow inadequate. So she's here to free us from those sorts of psychological, emotional, mental torments, really. That's a gift. So we learn through it. I'm going to try and keep my hands. We learn through experience. I mean, look, she's taken the mask off. So it's our soul unmasking us in that sense. So, you know, everything that happens to us, all the mistakes we make, all the mistakes others make, a learning process, okay? And there's no shame in it. No shame in messing up your learning process. We don't, you know, beat kids mercilessly. Well, we shouldn't be beating children mercilessly if they make mistakes while they're learning, do we? So we shouldn't be doing that to ourselves, okay? So we can swap that kind of belief of shame into the belief of our inherent divinity, okay? So it's a kind of sacred rebellion in your soul. This is what this energy brings. It's sacred rebellion. I mean, she rebelled, didn't she? Yeah. So, but it's powerful. It's an uprising towards liberation, breaking free from criticisms of the world, okay, or power games from other people, you know, that bore you senseless, really. And, you know, it's about breaking us free from all those sorts of things. It's like, you know, you get that sense of divine, and it gives you the energy to disobey anything and everything that's not divine, okay? So she's the leader of your soul. That's the energy, that archetype is the energy of your soul revolution, okay? So it's like shrugging off any misery, despair, weight of the world, and recognizing that you're the true bearer, you know, of light, peace, comfort, hope, joy. And I think one of the reasons this myth has been, and she's been demonized, Pandora, and the myth of Pandora's box, is because the institutions, I'm not talking about the proper spiritual beliefs, I'm talking about the institutions that took off, our religious institutions, you know, made us feel that the darkness is bad, that, you know, mistakes are bad, that it's a kind of, and we are in that Sagittarius season, so no surprise she's come back. So it's like, you know, we need to shake off these old ways of thinking, whether it's the way we relate, our inner critics, the way we relate within the world, the way we see and believe and value the world. You know, we need to look at our philosophies, especially coming up to this eclipse. So we need to look in the dark places. You know, some of the most awful things that have happened, either that we've been the cause of or other people have been the cause of, is where you find your light, in those darkest places. But if we don't shake that philosophy of sin, hell, judgment, shame, despair, if we don't shake that off, and that darkness is bad, then we won't be going near the darkness, and we won't really truly be opening that Pandora's box. And yeah, when you open it, it can cause chaos, because it brings light that helps you see situations, people, your own soul, your own self, you know, differently. It's transformational. And then you get in a place where you won't allow anything of that divine light to be compromised, you know, to please others, or to, you know, cover for others, or whatever it is we all do. I mean, it'll be different for each of us. So yeah, lovely Pandora. And I've spoken on her for almost 10 minutes, but I think it's a really poignant card today. Certainly is for me personally. But yeah, so that sense of, you know, not seeing chaos and all that as bad, not seeing dark as bad, not allowing your guilt, just look at it like a learning process. You know, it's all learning. And when we can do that, we kind of lose that deep judgment. Yeah, we might have anger, but we can see the person who hurt or brought destruction into our life as actually serving us to reveal ourselves, our resilience, our strength, our beauty, our heart to us. But unless we can And sometimes that kind of, that's like moving through the pain and the anger of what that person's done, you know. So, good old Pandora. She brings a bit of needed chaos. Okay, yeah, look at that. High Priestess. So we got all these beautiful, you know, again, High Priestess energy. That's a maligned energy. It's something we've learnt to think, nah, it's, you know, darkness, the hidden, the occult. Yeah, we're having our philosophies about how we see things and ourselves. Two of Wands and the Tower. Yeah, time to bring it all down, people. I think you may find this week that you may have Tower moments, particularly with this in the in the area. I've just dropped my glasses. Particularly as my Tower moment with my glasses. Yeah, particularly in the areas of how we see ourselves, how we see the mistakes we've made, what our beliefs are around, you know, big fat philosophies of heaven and hell and darkness and light. You know, allow those things to kind of unfold. I know this is a daily reading, but they all funnel into kind of one big read of the week in a sense. So yeah, particularly today, just be alert of it. If you feel any feelings of guilt, shame, anger, you know, if you got that, you know, when someone's really hurt you and your head's going rah, 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 and you're having all those verbal, don't avoid it. Go into it. Ask Spirit to open it up, to show you the light in that. Yeah? Don't kind of say to yourself, I'm being awful, I'm having bad thoughts about someone. Just accept, embrace that you've got them and dig. Allow, sit with them, allow Spirit to show you what is underneath that. Because often that internal arguing with yourself is because there's a lot of pain there for you. It's often because of real hurt. Or it can be because it's a justified anger because you've been wronged. But the thing we need to look for is the lesson, the learning, you know, how can we find that light that will grow and develop us? And yeah, with that High Priestess, it's hidden, isn't it? It's, you know, I always call her the dweller on the threshold. She's of the heart. She's almost the energy that sits there with all, with all the hidden knowledge about your heart, about the mysteries of your heart, the mysteries of life, the mysteries of occult is just means hidden, doesn't it? So all the occulted knowledge she's a holder of. And again, if you turn into it, if you ask Spirit, you'll have that opened up to you. So it's you know, it's that real deep wellspring of sacred knowledge. But it's also the wisdom of Gaia, of Mother Nature. So it's like, you know, open your eyes. Don't have, because the shadow of this is that, you know, self-doubt, mistrust of yourself and the feminine principle. So I think when we go into those energies, you know, of maligning ourselves, it's a fallout of that big philosophy about, you know, it is Eve's fault that the whole of civilization fell. It's a bastardization of real hidden wisdom. And that is often in the feminine. I'm not saying women are wise and men are not. It's nothing to do with gender. We need a unity between that masculine and feminine. And I think we've been really, really conditioned into, you know, I mean, feminine dark equals, you know, danger. If you look at it, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, even with Christianity and with Islam, you go to the mystic, and Judaism, go to the mystic traditions of them, and very much the feminine is on equal footing, because they come from deep roots of knowing, from shamanistic knowledge, the primal knowing, okay? So yeah, open up to that and don't have those seeds of self-doubt. Question, you know, anything that comes up, anger, bitterness, irritation, self-criticism, judgment, all the things that we regard as negative, just sit with them. Sit and ask, what is this about? Where is the light in this? What am I learning? What is this situation, this person, this kind of emotional field I'm in, this mental field I'm in? What is it I need to see? What is hidden from me? What do I need to learn? And, you know, sometimes it's that, you know, actually opening up to that darkness that resides in all of us, okay? It resides in all of us. It resides in the collective consciousness. You've only got to look globally and you can see the darkness, the shadow, kind of really on top. Well, don't judge it. Look for the light in it. See what Spirit's doing in our collective consciousness. And this tower, you know, I think this Sagittarius season, the eclipse, and, you know, it ends up with the winter solstice before we go into Capricorn. We're going to just continue to see these tower moments as in a radical transformation, because it's required of us as a collective. And we start with the individual. We can't go on the way we are as a collective without causing more and more damage, you know, to ourselves, to our environment, to humanity, all the creatures. We can't. And spiritually, we're under this sense of we're all separate. We're separate from our earth. We're separate from, you know, and we're masters and we can control. I'm not saying you listening. I'm just saying that's kind of what has been happening. And we, you know, spirit is requiring us to allow the tower of all these philosophies, you know, dominion philosophies, to fall. We're interconnected, okay, and we're not separate from the divine or any spirit, any spiritual. It's all one in that sense. And we got to work on our individual stuff, you know, open up to that occult knowledge. It only means hidden, the hidden wisdom and mystery. So open up to it. Just open to it. It's beautiful. It's actually extremely beautiful, and it has so much to offer us, so much wisdom, insight and beauty. And this Two of Wands sat in the middle. The mantra in this deck is I dare to choose. Yeah, so it's expanding your vision. It's fire energy. It's Sagittarian energy. Yeah, so it's allowing the fire to burn up the things that aren't supporting you to grow, deepen, expand, in all the things that are supportive to you and to everyone and everything around you. So this is gaining perspective. So today, if you have anything happening, or you've recently had anything happening, know that that darkness, that's just that energy, that Pandora archetype at work. It's the priestess at work. And the tower is that. It is these things to bring them to light. Okay? Because this is about skill and wisdom that we absorb along our life journey, and how opposites, the polarity, light and darkness, you know. There's a value in that. It's called creative tension. If you only have light, you don't get the creative tension of the dark. It's creative tension which makes us grow. It's how our world, the material, is formulated, the negative and positive in the atoms. That is creative tension, okay? So here we have it. Pandora's opening her box. If you don't know about the mythology of Pandora's box, have a look. Be careful though, because it's written in ways that really malign that. You need to have an understanding that the chaos, the tower that she unleashed, was to show the hidden mysteries, the hidden wisdom, to ensure that people had knowledge and wisdom about the value of those polarities and the creative tension in it. We're here to reclaim that divine spark and rise it back up again, to embody those polarities, to bring those polarities together. Right, I'm going to stop now because I'm really going off on one. And believe me, I'm not talking from head knowledge, I'm talking from experience, recent experience that has really highlighted all these things to me. You know, we're here to, I'm going to pull an elemental card, we are here to bring these elements of earth, water, air and fire. You know, some of you might be here to marry the water and fire, and if you are, it's one hell of a task. That's the will and the inner life. It's that kind of desire and will, and your inner life in body, spirit. It's what we're here to do. Okay, G. Sorry people, it's a long read. I think it's important though. Okay, fire and water, I said. we got fire. Pay attention to your ideas as they're messages of the divine. Yeah, listen to that hiddenness, that water, that inner life, okay? The messages of fire, they're messages of divine. Fire denotes the divine. So, yeah. Any chaos around you? Well, it's around us all in the world. If you haven't got it personally, you're really lucky. But listen to what the divine's saying rather than all the podcasts and various mental insights to what's going on in our world. Really listen to your ideas, messages of the divine. Okay, hope that was helpful. Bit intense a bit, but I'm, you know, if you don't want intensity, I think this week the readings could well be that way because of the energy leading up to this eclipse, the rubbish we need to release, new beginnings. Okay then people, lots of love, bye bye.